Well, greetings once again, my friends, my fellow historians, and my fellow lovers of the SS United States. I'd like to welcome you to another video, and this video is going to be including the SS United States Conservancy. Now, I haven't really done a video on them in a while. Ever since she signed ownership over to Okaloosa County, I haven't really spoken about the Conservancy. However, I did get an update. This is the second update for what I'm going to show you. This was from Monday, June 16, 2025. I had gotten this, and we see the sign, a new era for the SS United States. Of course, translated, that means she's going to be blown up and sunk. When we look at it, the feature is Food Tastes Better at Sea. Last week, the Conservancy debuted our exciting digital exhibition, Food Tastes Better at Sea, dining aboard the SS United States to great success. It shows on the bottom the Captain's Table invitation. Conservancy supporters enjoyed viewing the digital exhibition on the Conservancy's website during its first week. The former passengers have been inspired to share their own memories. So, when we take a look at it now, you can see where it clicks here. We're going to go to the ssusc.org, and we're brought to a page, and it says, Food Tastes Better at Sea. So you can go to the bottom where it says, This Way to Your Seats. We click on that, and then we're brought to another page, and we see a couple of publicity photos. Food Tastes Better at Sea, dining aboard the SS United States. You can see there's a table of contents. We have take a seat, setting the table, what's on the menu, innovation and technology, back of house, an enduring legacy, the guest book, and the shop. So dining on the SS United States was an experience that passengers never forgot. The elaborate menus distributed daily for each meal were saved by many families for decades, and mementos of their trip. In fact, I've actually shown you some of the gala menus. Many of these menus have now been donated to the SS United States Conservancy, where they are an important part of our archive and artifacts from the ship. It was this exhibit details the food served on the SS United States. It was, for many passengers, startlingly abundant after many years of food insecurity during the Great Depression. Food was also international in scope, using ingredients that were new to many Americans and European travelers. This international flair was reflective of the post-war era. Political developments and new technologies were beginning to connect people from all over the world. So the next part would be take a seat. So dining on the SS United States was an event. Passengers were also asked to wear their best dress. For ladies, this meant no shorts. For gentlemen, a jacket or coat was required. Ship photographers snapped photos of passengers as they arrived. Passengers ate 3 meals a day in various rooms according to their class. All passenger restaurants were located on A deck. Crew mess rooms were on B deck. Other meals, snacks, and drinks were served in the lounges and bars. Buffets frequently lined the promenade deck, featuring bouillon to sip while passengers reclined on deck chairs. Passengers of all classes could order food straight to their rooms at any time of the night, thanks to handy steward buttons located on their stateroom walls. All food was prepaid with the price of passage, much to the delight of hungry children who ordered as much food as they could imagine. One of the things that we see on the right-hand side is a little tag. These instructions were printed in the ship's newspaper, the Ocean Press, the SS United States Conservancy collection, courtesy of Trevor Worthington. So this is titled Safety at Sea. Suggestions for the avoidance of accidents. Follow procedures and precautions are suggested for the avoidance of accidents during bad weather at sea. So number 1 would be never let go of the handrails when proceeding up or down companionways. 2, always hold on to safety ropes, handrails, or secured furniture when crossing open lobbies through the public rooms or in the dining room. 3, ladies are advised to wear low heel shoes. 4, do not stroll about the ship unnecessarily. Remain seated in furniture that is secured. 5, when sitting in a straight back chair, brace yourself. If the chair should move a little at meals, hold on to the table. Do not attempt to save movable utensils or equipment. And below that, we're going to look at the first class dining room. And again, I'm not going to read the whole thing to you, but I do want to go over the important aspects and then show you the pictures. The promotional photo from the United States Lines pamphlet, often given to travel agents. The SS United States Conservancy collection from the Mark Perry collection. And you can see the tables set. The photo on the right-hand side is a photo from the captain's table featuring Commodore Anderson on the left, the longest-serving captain on the SS United States. SS United States Conservancy collection, courtesy of Commodore Anderson's son, Charles Anderson. So we go to the cabin class dining room, and the photo on the left-hand side is a promotional photo in the United States Lines pamphlet, often given to travel agents, the SS United States Conservancy collection from the Mark Perry collection. And I'm actually going to look for some of these pamphlets to show you guys, because I have done an advertising aspect for the SS United States, but to get the pamphlet and the pack that would come directly from the travel agent, I think that would be a fun video. So the photo on the right is a family celebrating gala night in a cabin class during their 1953 voyage, and that was from New York City to Germany. So we go down now, we're at the tourist class, and still, even though the tourist class is still beautiful, look at the left-hand side. The photo was featured in the 1984 Guernsey's auction catalog. Incidentally, I have shown you the catalog too. Few color photos of the tourist class dining room were taken. SS United States Conservancy collection. Over to the right, you can see a photo of the Jones family celebrating gala night in a tourist class. Pictured include Sonia Jones, age 6 at the time, the mother Sonia Jones, age 27. The SS United States Conservancy collection, courtesy of Sonia Jones. Going down, we see with a special restaurant. Special restaurant featuring Tissot's panel on the right in the center, SS United States Conservancy collection. So located on the promenade deck next to the Grand Ballroom, this restaurant was known as the restaurant, the special restaurant, or the first class grill. It was an intimate, reservations required room that sat 50 passengers. Only 0.04 the first class percent. Celebrities like the Duke of Duchess and Windsor would request tables here to dine privately away from the prying eyes of other passengers. Special restaurant was accented by a large aluminum-mounted backlit crystal light panel designed by Charles Lynn Tissot. The panel features 17 individualized cut crystal stars or snowflakes set in perforated aluminum. Conservancy is grateful to have one of these panels in our collection. I wonder what happened to all that decor. Many ocean liners offered small a la carte restaurants complete with a special menu tailored to their elite passengers. Uniquely, this restaurant served the exact same menu as the first class dining room. So we move on. Next is setting the table. And we get to see passengers saved as many souvenirs as they could to remember their time at sea. This included menus, swivel sticks, drink stirs, napkins, and decorative flags on the table. And you can see all the way to the left-hand side, we've got the SS United States Lines swizzle sticks. Then we have in the middle, we've got the United States Lines napkin. And all the way to the right, we have the United States Lines mini toothpick. The dining saloon stands out in my memory. The waiters were so well dressed in their uniforms. The tables were set immaculately and the service was perfect. The menu was extravagant. Catherine Plummer, Hunger, Gracia, passenger in 1956. So we look at some of the dining ware now. Over 8,000 pieces of crockery and 48,000 pieces of silverware were carried on board at all times. That's a lot. You can see the beautiful plate that's on the left-hand side, and that would be the SS United States Line service plate. Looking to the right is, again, from the Guernsey's auction catalog from 1984, and that would show more of the plates. I love the one with the eagle. Plates were created especially for U.S. lines by a number of manufacturers, including Lamberton, China, Mayer China, Hall, Addison, and Perusium. The typical plates found featured distinctive gray star patterns. The plate shown above was called the United States Service Plate or Show Plate. These plates were placed in the first-class dining tables and were almost immediately taken away. These plates were only for show, as the gold trim couldn't withstand much use. Mayer China, Beaver Falls, Pennsylvania, made expressively for the United States lines. You can see sea pottery at the bottom. When the plates broke on the SS United States, crew members would simply throw them overboard. These shard crystals through a current cycled through the currents for decades. Sand smoothed the sharp edges, and barnacles found a new home on the surface. Below that, you can see it says thirsty. The bars of the SS United States were impeccably stocked with multiple bars on board. It was no small feat for keeping passengers' glasses full. Over 25,000 glasses were carried on board at all times. Man, that's a lot of glasses. In the photograph, it says the United States Line serveware, including a dessert plate, a teacup, and a silver coffee carafe. I do have a coffee pot that I showed you guys, and I'm trying to restore it, but I don't know how to get it any cleaner. You can see it says bar supplies. Number of champagnes available, 37. Number of wines available, 134. In one voyage, the following wines, liquors were consumed: 325 bottles of champagne, 785 bottles of wine, 9,800 bottles of beer, 25 beer barrels, each one containing 31 gallons, 1,900 bottles of whiskey, liquor, etc., and 5,500 bottles of Coke, ginger ale, etc. Man, that is a lot. On the left-hand side, you can see a photograph of passengers enjoying many drinks. And you can see in front of that lady, they have the glass Coca-Cola bottles. Been a while since we've seen those around here. When it comes to, on the bottom, smoking during meals was par for the course in mid-century America. U.S. Lines custom ashtrays could be spotted on dining tables and bar counters. You can see the menu for the cigarettes, the cigars, and the tobacco. And I would love to be able to read this. The photo is just too small, and sadly you can't make it any larger. So I'm going to attempt to put it up and show you guys the list. Over to the right-hand side, you can see a couple of the ashtrays. I like the glass one. I love the eagle. And this is courtesy of Gene Stewart with the ashtray. Next up would be what's on the menu. So when we look at what's on the menu, first thing at the top, you can see the food is tremendous. They have a menu with so many different selections, and everything is delicious. It seems like we eat all day, and we'll weigh a ton by the time we reach Birmingham. Letter from Joyce Reed to mother and father in 1966. Well, when you're on vacation, that's what you do, right? You can see the United States lines. From the top left, we have a picture or illustration of a castle. The one in the middle, I believe, is, if I'm not mistaken, that would be Big Ben in London. And all the way to the right, I'm not quite sure what that is because I can't read the writing. During World War II, food was carefully rationed, transforming staples like coffee and sugar into luxuries. Creative food scientists invented instant coffee and other ready-made meals to keep troops fed. Following the war, America became the richest country in the world. Consumers had much money to spend, and they were hungry for their favorite foods, for coffee, and newly interested in trying foreign cuisines as well. Food from Italy, China soon filled magazines, cookbooks, and television programs. And when we go on the bottom, you can see Mr. Otto Bismarck is the head chef of the SS United States. He played a crucial part in the United States' appeal to the diverse potential pool of passengers. A German chef educated in high-class European hotels, he offered a familiar continental experience for European passengers, while intriguing Americans who were looking for something new. On the other hand, Bismarck's high-tech kitchen, equipped with machines like the radar range, had a uniquely American charm. We are not believing much in canned foods. We prefer to use fresh turtle instead of the canned. We like fresh fruits and vegetables better, too. And that's from Otto Bismarck to the New York Times in 1957. And you can see we got a breakfast menu. And let's see, I'm going to attempt to try to read this. We got fruits, honeydew melon, and please forgive me that it's so small, I'm having a hard time reading this. Below that, we got different types of cereals. Below that, we have fish, eggs, meat from the grill, Yorkshire ham, country sausages, veal chop, potatoes. We got cold dishes. And again, my apologies, I can't read that. Preservatives and beverages. So that was breakfast. For the luncheon menu, we got hors d'oeuvres at the beginning. We got soups, more fish, and we have the entrees. It looks like corned beef. Ooh, that sounds good. Steamed cabbage, chicken, roast leg of veal, and from the grill, frankfurters. So we got hot dogs. We got vegetables, Brussels sprouts, sauerkraut, mashed potatoes or French fried. And for cold dishes, we've got homemade head cheese, vinaigrette. Below that, salads, and then eventually desserts. And that will be the luncheon. And there's another one with the hors d'oeuvres, the soups, the fish, the cold buffet, the entrees, the roasts. So dinners of all classes could expect extravagant dishes. There were a few differences between first, cabin, and tourist class offerings. This made food preparation and ingredient ordering simpler, especially since first and cabin class shared gallery space. Ultimately, the difference between the classes lay in the presentation of the food and in the separate dining rooms. And when you look below that, we go down to gala night, and again, I'm showing you some of these menus. Every voyage concluded with gala night, parties celebrating the last night at sea. Passengers wore their nicest clothes for the celebrations. Streamers and party hats were passed out to all. Special menus included dishes like kangaroo tail soup. The soup was painstakingly prepared using kangaroo tail and imported frozen from New Zealand. Another mainstay was green turtle soup, prepared with fresh turtle. According to the New York Times, every voyage included a live reptilian passenger averaging 200 pounds. I don't know if I would enjoy kangaroo tail soup or turtle soup. I guess it would be unique. Below that, you can see the first class gala dinner menu from 1962. And on the right is the first class gala dinner menu from 1953. They got the illustration of the beautiful ship in front. So when we go down, now it's on to innovation and technology. And the radar range. You might be thinking, what is the radar range? Well, before the microwave, there was the radar range. The development of radar technology during World War II led to the creation of the radar range, released in 1947. A standard machine was over 5 feet tall, wide, and heavy. It was too expensive and large for home use, but it flourished in the food industry. Restaurants and hotels across the United States began to experiment with radar range cooking. The United States was the first ocean liner to feature the groundbreaking machine. While on the radar range made food quickly and easily, the resulting dishes didn't always look as expected, especially the steak. Meat didn't brown in the same way when cooked over the stovetop. The SS United States head chef Otto Bismarck ultimately created a special brown sauce to disguise this fact, and no one was the wiser. I gotta be honest, there's nothing like cooking a steak over a fire. And to microwave a steak would be just awful. That's just not something good. The picture has head chef Otto Bismarck demonstrating the radar range in his promotional image. The next photo below that, we can see again Otto Bismarck showing off the range to Raytheon executives. And below that, we can see a picture of Bob Hope, or I think that's Bob. Here, head chef Otto Bismarck and world-famous comedian Bob Hope chat in the galley. Look closely behind Bob Hope to see a wall full of Jell-O. Typical mid-century refrigerated treat. You'd figure that, something is extravagant and first class and you can still get Jell-O. Kind of like the Titanic, where you can actually order a bologna sandwich on the Titanic in first class. How awesome is that? When you look at the bottom, you can see the blueprints of SeaDeck, and this is the complex labyrinth of refrigerated rooms. Now, when it comes to a ship this big and all the food that they got to carry, the refrigerators have a really, really special place. Huge refrigerated rooms. These were located on SeaDeck, carefully divided by food type, even voyage direction. There were rooms detailed solely to ice cream. Cheese, eggs, meat were separated by type and direction of the voyage. Smoked meat, kosher meat, meat for westbound trips, meat for eastbound trips. Even cigars and tobacco were kept cool in dedicated storage rooms. Foods were thawed and chilled respectively in the appropriate rooms. When it came time to cook the food, the crew members carried the precious cargo via the elevator or dumbwaiter to the galleys and the pantries on A deck, 2 decks above. Smaller refrigerated rooms were located on A deck, complementing the cooking spaces. HVAC manuals for the ship explain how refrigerated spaces were controlled with tempered air systems and 2-speed fans. The vast refrigerators on board allowed the kitchens to prepare delicacies like Jell-O and frozen ice cream cakes. These foods, now taken for granted in the 21st century, were prized at the time, not especially for their taste, but just because they represented access to refrigeration. Every plate of perfectly chilled Jell-O delivered to an eager passenger was a testament to the complex technology and efficiency aboard the SS United States. And below that, we have another fire safety tip. The HVAC manual details the thorough process necessary to operate and the heating, cooling, and refrigeration and fire safety on board the ship. So, the chief designer of the SS United States, William Francis Gibbs, was obsessed with fire safety. Horrified by the disaster of the SS Morro Castle and the SS Normandy, he insisted the SS United States be fully fireproof. He allowed absolutely no flammable wood items on board. The only wooden objects were a butcher's block and a custom Steinway piano. And then, as we go to the bottom now, we're going to go, the next topic would be the back of house. So now when we move on to back of house, you can see the first thing up top. We have a picture, and this is head chef Otto Bismarck. The chefs and officers received medals commemorating the 1952 maiden voyage. Below that, you can see this is the National Maritime Union membership card for Kenneth Carlin. Kenneth sailed on the SS United States around the age of 17 or 18 a number of times, and he worked as a cabin class waiter and the first class waiter the SS United States Conservancy collection. Kind of like the same material as dog tags. Below that, on the right-hand side, we look at the Superliner's elite crew, a cross-section of America. The headline comes in U.S. Lines Publication Sales News. This issue, number 6, celebrates the Blue Ribbon crew of the Big U, SS United States Conservancy collection. You can see the chefs, SS United States First Class Pantrymen, 1963. The next would be this group of individuals, sea trial stewards, from 1952. The next photo is the head steward, William Marshall, and it's not dated. And next we have the Sea Trials Galley crew from 1952. The Sea Trials stewards taking a break during 1952. Otto Bismarck oversees the galley, and this is undated. And the Sea Trials crew from 1952. The Sea Trials Galley crew from 1952. And back to the pantrymen. So when we look below that, speaking of the crew, this is something that I thought was interesting. Did you ever wonder what the crew actually ate? So food was prepared in the first class and cabin class galley, which is A deck, tourist class galley, A deck, and the steward's galley, which is B deck. Positions range from chef, saucier, soup cook, roast cook, potato cook, fish cook, kosher beef, butcher, pantryman, coffeeman, among many others. Not all crew members had an easy time working in the fast-paced, high-energy kitchen. Dismal reports reveal Bismarck's dislike for lazy workers who were a bad influence. He demoted them or fired them. When the kitchen closed, Bismarck blew his whistle to signal the crew to hose down all surfaces before cleaning could begin. The crew grabbed as many leftovers as they could. Though alcohol was strictly forbidden, drinking did happen. In the kitchen and pantry, this could lead to fights, the penalty of days' wages, or even immediate dismissal. Crew members ate in a number of mess rooms on B deck. The schedules and locations specific to their departments. For example, the deck and engine department had breakfast between 7:30 a.m. and 8:30 a.m., whereas the stewards ate breakfast between 6:30 a.m. and 9. And when we look over to the left-hand side, you can actually see a breakfast menu for the crew. This crew menu from July of 1969 reveals a wide array of food offered to the crew. The SS United States had a reputation for feeding her crew well compared to other ocean liners. So when we look at the menu, we got the breakfast, and right off the bat, you can see the apple. We got chilled grapefruit, oranges, mixed fruit, V8 juice, boiled rice and milk. I don't know if that's a dish. Boiled rice with milk and cinnamon sugar. We got assorted dry cereals, herring. We've got eggs, omelet, fried, scrambled and boiled. We got bacon and ham, sausages, sauteed potatoes or home fries, French toast, jams and marmalade, fresh rolls, coffee. So this is pretty nice. This is eating pretty well considering you're the crew member. When we go to the lunch, we got a nice looking, we got chicken salad. That sounds good. And we have various kinds of fresh and smoked sausages, sauteed onions, baked fresh squash, black-eyed peas, potatoes we got mashed, boiled, Uncle Joe sweet potatoes. Then we have the Thousand Island dressings, the mayonnaise. We have cherry pie, coffee, fresh fruit, milk, and we got Kool-Aid. Interesting. So for dinner now, the crew will have herring in cream with onion rings, radishes, consomme, egg drop. We got boiled fresh mackerel, lemon butter, Saratoga chips, rag out, fin au gratin. We got cold ham, potato salad. We got stuffed turkey. I think I would pick the turkey. Then we have loin of pork. We got ribeye, prime rib. That sounds good. We got boiled, candied, sweet, mashed, different types of tomato salads. We got pound cake. We got Jell-O, coffee, iced coffee, fresh milk, and again, Kool-Aid. And this is from July 9th of 1969, so you're eating pretty well aboard the SS United States. So when we look below that, this photo is from the sea trials, and this is the crew galley from 1952. Below that, where it says fond memories, a testament to the hard-working crew. Former passengers still remember their favorite waiters by name and the kind deck stewards who cared for them when they were in. The theories of sickness, the elite crew was just as important as the fuel in making the SS United States succeed and emerge as the successful cultural icon that she was. So the photo all the way to the left, this is a waiter serving Joseph and Inga Borstler in 1967. The middle photograph is from 1964 and shows the Stelmacher family and beloved waiter, Archie, in the background. And then all the way to the right, we have Barbara Franklin's 1957 or 1960 voyage. From left to right, Josephine Joyce, John Joyce, Margaret Joyce, Barbara Joyce, Franklin with Jimmy, their waiter. So when we go down below that, you can see tipping. On the last morning, the tips for the entire voyage must be distributed. Parceled money out in envelopes the night before and was ready. The exact amounts, when you look at the bottom, they work out something like as follows. For 2 people, so the cabin steward, $20. Cabin stewardess, $15. The dining room steward, $20. The deck steward, $5. The bellboy or boots, $2, with a total of $62. Barbara's bartenders are tipped at each service about the same as at home. Accounting for inflation, this would be equivalent to $629.45 in 2025. So that's quite a lot of tipping, and you can see over to the left-hand side would be her handwriting from her notes, her diary. So when we look below that, we see the crew for life, and we see the photograph, Miguel Cruz and his best friend Elviro Pepe Santiago. Miguel worked on the ship from July 21st of 1953 to November 7th of 1969. And then below that, you can see we're going to an enduring legacy. So we go to the section that's an enduring legacy. The Conservancy has artifacts from every chapter of the SS United States history, from her creation, time on the seas, and the many preservation efforts following her retirement. Preserving the history and legacy of the SS United States has been the only made possible to the thanked community, former passengers, crew, and their families, collectors, scholars, ocean liner enthusiasts, and preservationists. Our steadfast dedication to preserving the SS United States memory is a profound testament to the wide impact of our beloved ship. And below that, you can see a picture of the beautiful SS United States, and this is from 1980 at Newport News, Virginia. The picture to the right, we've got the auction calendar, and again, I've shown you the Guernsey's auction catalog, and it shows the schedule. The SS United States was pulled from service in 1969 between steadily declining ticket sales and the rising popularity of the airline industry. As high operating costs, ocean liners like the SS United States were no longer economically viable. Between 1969 and 1984, the SS United States stayed dormant, laid up in Newport News, Virginia. Grand dining rooms and thousands of passengers once dined on fine cuisine sat empty. But the culture, the memories, and the objects that made dining on board so magical remained ready for the ship's next chapter. In 1980, Richard Hadley purchased the SS United States in a bid to redevelop it. In order to finance his plans, the ship's contents were auctioned off in a huge 3-day auction in 1984. The auction was the world's largest auction ever held, with over 1 million items auctioning, with 3,000 bidders paying $1.65 million. Former passengers, crew, and collectors poured in from around the world, purchasing plates, glasses, silverware, linens, and more. Below that, the photograph is a reunion of the crew in 2004. Windmill Point Restaurant, Nags Head, Virginia. Below that, you can see Welcome Aboard. Visit our upper-level complimentary continuous widescreen documentaries of the SS United States. Its furnishings are original. The bar and cocktail tables and chairs are from America's largest, fastest, and most luxurious ocean-going vessel. She's got New York style, California grace, Midwest's strength, and Texas space. A Southland's charm, a nation's pace. She's got freedom, form, and liberty face. So salute the United States. Now for your fine dining experience. Now is from the Windmill Point Restaurant in Nags Head, Virginia. And below that, you can see the SS United States Conservancy. This is the another restaurant paying tribute to the ship. And this is the Celebrity Infinity, opened in the early 2000s. Until 2015, the restaurant honored its namesake through dishes on its menu and large displays of historical artifacts. This menu is from the SS United States themed restaurant on the cruise ship Celebrity Infinity. Below that, you can see a beautiful shot where you can sit and eat and watch the United States. This is the Luncheon IKEA. The shoppers had a view of the SS United States when she was at Pier 82 back in 1996. And it talks about the next chapter for the flagship, the museum, where they're going to be pulling off her radar mast, one of the funnels, possibly the superstructure. And after that, it's the guest book, and I had signed the guest book. And then you are taken to the shop where you can actually go to the store. So this is a pretty interesting exhibit. Again, I wanted to share it with you. I was thinking about whether sharing it or not, but it does have a lot of information on the ship. I loved the accommodations and the food for the crew. I thought was interesting. Some of the things that they ate back in that. And you know, sometimes when I do a menu for Titanic, I think, that just doesn't sound appetizing, you know. But a lot of the SS United States menu is very similar, you know. And they're talking about having fish for breakfast and things of that nature. But my friends, I hope you enjoyed this video. And again, this is from the SS United States Conservancy. And I know I haven't really done a video on them in a while. That's because there's really been nothing to do, nothing to show you, but I figured you guys would like the exhibit. So my friends, I thank you so much for watching, and until my next video on the SS United States, thank you for watching, and I'll talk to you soon.